Back in late 2018, when I first came across trading and started to teach myself the skill, I was so excited where it was going to take me in life. Lots of money, time freedom, all that cool stuff. But it clouded my judgment in following a very systematic process to get where I ultimately wanted to be. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips or tricks, if you want to call them that, of what I wish I knew when I started this journey. And hopefully you guys can get some real value out of this, because trading is the most psychological demanding thing I have ever done. And that brings me on to number 1, and that is discipline and emotions. I always thought it was the skill of trading. No one is born a great trader. It is a skill anyone can obtain. You can literally teach yourself this high income skill and generate profits out of the market. And it still blows my mind to this day. The emotional discipline you need to follow a systematic approach, not sit on your hands and not take random entries, and have the patience to wait for your system to present the entries, to position yourself correctly in the market and not over risk, to not close your trades too early, to not take profits too early, to not move your stop loss. There are so many psychological aspects in trading that when I first got into it, I had no idea this was going to be a massive issue. When a lot of these issues do come up when you are trading live, and by trading live, I mean real capital, personal capital, or funded capital, whatever route you decide to go with. But when you're trading, let's say you have a 100K account, you're risking 1%. If your system you are trading is a system that performs well over time, and you back tested it, where the trades you enter and your exit was at 2R, you must have the discipline to hold that trade while it's in profit, and then for it to hit that 2R take profit to be out at $2,000. When you are focusing on the trade, depending if you are a swing trader, day trader, scalper, whatever route you want to take, we'll get to that later, it is going to require next level discipline. And I never knew this when I first got into this journey. It only came through experience. It is still something I struggle with to this day, and a lot of traders I work with still struggle with that same aspect. Of course, they get better at it because of experience. They learn from the mistakes, and that brings me on to the emotional side of it. You're gonna have to dig deep in trading. It really is a self-reflecting skill, where you're gonna have to really dig deep and understand who you really are, any psychological flaws you may have, because they're gonna project into your trading. If you have negative emotions about money, it's gonna impact your trading. If you've had a bad day, or your mindset isn't right, and you come to the charts and start trading, it's gonna project on your trading. A lot of traders think they just push a few buttons, which they do, and they make money, which we do. But the best professional traders, the people that are successful in this business, what separates them is the emotional discipline they have to follow a system every single day, the resilience they have to show up every day and follow the process. It's not going to be easy. And this brings me on to number 2, and that is realistic expectations and goals. Guys, this isn't going to happen overnight. I've been doing this for just over 3 years now, and I am slowly etching to where I want to be. And the amount of the growth mindset I've had to adapt, it's changed my life dramatically for the better. Because coming back to what I was talking about, emotions and discipline, you need to have that growth mindset. You can't have a closed mind and expect to be good at trading, because we need to adapt to different market conditions, to different methods, to different perspectives, and you got to have an open mind to see that in front of you and take advantage of the opportunity. So coming back to number 2 with setting realistic expectations and goals, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. You need what's going to take the longest, and from my personal experience, is finding out what type of trader you are. And also depending on what situation you currently have in life. You may be, if you're still living with your parents, that is like the ultimate situation where, you got no bills to pay, no mortgage or rent, and you're in the best position possible. If you're on the other end of the spectrum and you may have kids, a mortgage, you're paying rent, you're gonna have bills to pay, it's going to take a lot longer. And Having the realistic expectations and goals to really set yourself up for success is so vital and important, because you don't want to rush this process. If you rush, it's only going to delay where you want to be. And taking your time day by day, learning the skill is definitely the best method I have seen, where, you know, over the 3 years working closely with a lot of traders and following a lot of people on social media, the ones that are taking their time, the ones that are really putting in a lot of the effort into either system development or back testing, and the ones that are journaling and really being realistic to themselves and not trying to chase that quick gain, that quick money, that quick success. They understand it is a long-term goal, and that is what you must look at it as. This isn't it's not a hobby. You must take it seriously. You must put in the work. And what I usually tell new traders is set aside 2 to 5 years. I know it sounds like a lot, but in reality, it really isn't a lot of time. You guys are learning a high income skill. There is no salary cap on trading. You can earn as much or as little as you want. We have now got these funded online companies where you can leverage more capital, increasing your profits. And it really is a great time to start really getting into trading. But like I said, have realistic goals, have realistic expectations, and just follow that process. And this brings me on to number 3, where kind of coming off from that having realistic expectations. Number 3 would be, you must be in a good place. Guys, if you are trying to force outcomes in trading, if you are in a point in your life where you're like, I really need money, you're not in a good place. And I don't mean that to turn you off. I mean, learn the skill, guys. You want to put in the effort to learn what it takes to become a consistently profitable trader, and then apply that. Don't go straight in opening a brokerage account, putting $100 in there, and then risking 50% of that account to try and make profits quickly, because you are going to make money, but ultimately you're going to blow that account. And that is a very vicious cycle to get into, and it's going to leave a very sour taste of trading in your mouth. You really want to just be in a good place. If you are transitioning into live trading, having a full-time job or a steady income is a great place. Having cash buffers is another thing I would always recommend. Having about 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses put aside, because coming back to number 2, another realistic expectation of trading is that you're not going to earn $100 a day, $1,000 a week consistently. It's over time. We're gonna let those probabilities play out in our favor over time, and that is what basically we generate. That's how we generate profits in trading. So if anyone's out there telling you, you know, I can earn $100 a day, $1,000 a day, $1,000 a week consistently, it's bullshit. You cannot consistently expect the same amount of money per day, per week out of trading. It doesn't happen that way. So ultimately, you want to be in a good place to start trading live capital. There are expectations. For me personally, if you guys know my story, I sold my investment property. I was well set up, but at the time I did lose my full-time job. So I did put my back against the wall to really kind of make this thing work. At that time, I had 2 years of experience while learning under my belt. So I kind of was ready to take on full-time trading, and still it was one of the biggest challenges I have ever put myself through. It doesn't get easier, guys. It does not get easier. You just get stronger and you adapt, and you just find ways to ultimately make trading a more smoother ride. Taking losses still hurts, but I just deal with them better. Having big winners is still exhilarating, but I don't get overhyped about them, because at the end of the day, trading is simply you make money, you lose money, you make money. And as long as your winners are bigger than your losers, ultimately you come out on top at the end of the week, the month, the year. And this brings me on to number 4. And this is probably one of the most important aspects I wish I knew sooner in my journey, is backtesting, having the data, and doing the journaling. This is going to set you up for success. Those 3 things. Backtesting a system with systematic rules, so there's no gray areas. You know exactly what to do. You know where to enter, where to put your stop loss, and where to take targets. You then want to see the data. You want to see how that system performs over 100 trades, 5 years, depending on what time frame you are testing it. And then you want to trade it live and journal. Doing those three things is ultimate success over time, because you are going to get such a bigger picture of what's going on up here when you're journaling. And then obviously the data is going to reflect that and tell you, obviously with the back testing, it's going to tell you if the system's profitable or not. So then you can tweak it, adjust it, change it how you want to make it profitable. The data is going to give you the confidence to execute live in the market, and then taking those trades live in the market and journaling them is going to give you even more confidence to understand the psychological battles. And backtesting doesn't have to be complex. You can make it as simple or as hard as you want. You can test multiple variables, or you can test as little variables as you possibly want to. Obviously, having more data, more points of reference to understand the system better will give you more information to make, changes and adapt it very slightly in the live market to maximize that system's performance. And also having multiple years of data collected will give you multiple different market cycles. So when you can kind of ease off a little bit from risking too much, or you can really zone into that system and generate more profits. So you'll understand all of these market cycles and how your system performs just by having that back tested data in front of you. You'll have the confidence to trade it because you see the data. How many consecutive losses? What's the biggest drawdown the system has gone through? How many consecutive wins do you go through? So you may be on a winning streak, and you can be to yourself like, all right, I know my system has 6 winning trades in a row, but after that we have 4 or 5 losing trades. So be prepared for that to happen, and that gives you the confidence to keep trading in a drawdown, to dig yourself out of it and then back in the profit. And then the journaling, like I was saying, journaling is so vital in this industry, in trading, because it gives you insight into your subconscious. You may be doing things that you're not aware of, and if you don't journal them, if you don't write them down, you're never going to become consciously aware of what you are doing that may be sabotaging your system, that may be preventing you from being successful in trading. So journaling, by far on par or a little bit more important than backtesting. But honestly, those 3 things, backtesting, having the data, and journaling, is your key to success in trading. And number 5 is going to combining everything, adapting and growth. Being able to adapt to different opportunities, different market cycles, because at the end of the day, our system we develop, or a system you may find online or through an educator or company, whatever, it is going to change over time. The edge is going to deteriorate. And I'm not talking about like that's it, it's never going to work, but you're going to have to adapt 1% changes to it here and there. You may have to give your stop loss a little bit more room. Volatility may change in the markets. These are things that we have to understand it's going to happen, and we must have an adaptive mindset and a growth mindset to overcome this. When you're journaling your trades, you understand it's like, okay, I just got stopped out of this trade by 1 pip and then price went in my favor. This has happened 10, 15 times already in the past 2 or 3 months. I may need to start giving my stop loss a little bit more breathing room. Things like that is the adaptiveness of trading, and you're going to have that open mind to see those variations occurring in the market. And then of course, having a growth mindset. Trading is never ending. There is no end. You are constantly adapting and growing, learning, education, knowledge. It's always coming in, and you have to be willing to accept it. Not all of it, because this is a bonus. Let's just say this is number 6, but this is a bonus point at the end. There is so much information in trading that it can be very overwhelming. And guess what? 90% of it is shit. 90% of trading education out there is not flawed, but it's useless. It has no purpose, because at the end of the day, you could go on YouTube, find a system that someone's talking about, and guess what? 99% of systems out there are profitable. We just don't have the data to back it, to have the confidence to trade it, and the personality to trade that certain system. And coming back to what I was saying before with our expectations and goals, experience is going to be a massive contributing factor to your success. And that is another reason why it takes so long, because you may not know what you want to do in trading. Like if you want to be a scalper, a day trader, swing trader, position trader, there are so many methods and variables that you got to find out what best suits you. And like I was saying, you may have a family, kids, full-time job, so you don't have the time to day trade. You can't spend the time at the chart. So you may want to focus on swing trading, higher time frames, 4-hour daily, weekly. And you must adapt that style of trading into your life. A great example of this is me personally, where when I was working full-time, learning to trade, trying to make it work, naturally I love day trading. And when I sold my investment property, lost my full-time job, I was able to dedicate enough time to day trading because that is naturally what I wanted to do from the very start. I saw a lot of day trading stuff on, YouTube, and I read a lot about, day traders. So that is naturally what I lean towards and what I was attracted to the markets for. So when I was able to dedicate enough time, that is when I started to see the success. Now, I'm not saying that's for everyone, because the markets and trading is fractal. You can apply your knowledge on multiple different time frames. You just got to find out what works best for you, and ultimately that will lead to your success. I hope you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, please smash the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for future content. And honestly, guys, stick through it. Be resilient in your trading. Learning the skill is the easy part. Applying it and executing it is where it's going to take, like I was saying, that emotional discipline, that real kind of digging deep to kind of stick to the process. I believe in you guys. You will get there. Hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you in